Okay, welcome back once again to our channel. Thank you for being here and another daily devotion. The word for you today. We are still in navigating life's losses, and we're doing part 3 today. And our scripture is Ecclesiastes 3 and 6, which says, "A time to gain and a time to lose." We'll get right into it. How can we help our children navigate life's losses? 1, don't underestimate their capacity for grief. Children are often the forgotten grievers. Their pain is real and intense. Recognize and validate it. Number 2, don't avoid talking about the loss when they're present. Excluding them from adults in mourning denies them the opportunity for support and increased understanding about their loss. Include them in the family's collective grief experience. Number 3, encourage them to share their feelings about the loss. Teach them that being real is more important than being strong and confirm that their feelings matter. Very young children have limited understanding about the meaning, permanence, and irreversibility of death. They can only talk about it briefly and concretely. Older children understand its meaning and should be encouraged to talk about it. Number 4, make allowance for each child's personality. Our personality determines our grieving style. Introverted children may need their own space. Extroverted ones may need to be verbal and sociable. Dependent children need strong adults around them. Independent ones can handle a lot on their own. Number 5, communicate realistically with them. Excuse me. Adults often use language that confuses children. Your dad has gone home, fallen asleep, passed away, gone to his rest, etc. Speaking of death as the end of this physical life is biblical, clarifies the significance of the loss, and allows children to ask questions that matter to them. Your children can handle loss, and they can understand that everlasting life is God's great solution, and one day we will join our loved ones in heaven. See John 14, 2 and 3. So this one really hit home today. So when our son was 3, my first husband, he passed away, and our son was 3. And at the time, when they're that little, they understand to a certain extent. For him at 3 years old, it was, is that my daddy in that box with the flag on it? And it was like, yes, why isn't he coming out? So you have to find a way to explain to them where they are mentally, emotionally, their age. And I remember the counselor saying, as they grow, when they lose that young, that it's so important not only to talk about it and include them in the conversations, but that different times of their life, different milestones, different stages of their life as they're growing up, it's going to hit them because they'll begin to understand what they lost and the significance. And it really did. When he was really old enough to understand everything that happened, it was, then I saw him grieve. As an older adult, he's almost 30 now, but, he grieved at 16, how he couldn't grieve at 3. And so it's a very intense process. And yes, I can see, how they could be forgotten because you think, oh, they don't know what happened. But eventually, yes, maybe they don't to an extent, but eventually they're going to get it, and they're going to remember how you dealt with it. So that is our word for you today. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow.